Peter Magyar has been sworn in as the Prime Minister of Hungary. And as you can imagine, the Hungarians are overjoyed to be able to take back their country. I wish we could say the same thing, but I'm really happy for Hungarians. Now, Peter Magyar is no liberal nor a progressive. He was actually part of Orban's orbit. He was part of the Fidesz party, and then he broke away when he realized that there was over the top corruption and the country was being severely damaged. But he is not a liberal. But he is very, very pro Europe and pro European Union, and he will try to repair his relationships with the European Union. He has also pledged to support the ICC and to follow ICC's rulings. So that is a very good thing. And, we don't know what other policies he's going to follow. I think he's not going to be liberal on immigration, but he will be part of the European Union and play his role there. So, 17 years of Orban are gone from Hungary. But as I said yesterday, Orbanism seems to have seeped into America. And as the MAGA faithful were saying, Orban model was exactly the model that they were going to follow. And if you remember, just ahead of the elections, J.D. Vance thought it was important to rush off to Hungary to try to put his thumb on the scale to try to get Orban elected. And this was during the bombing campaign on Iran by the United States and Israel. But Mr. Vance thought his time was better spent going and participating in a political rally with Europe's main dictator. So I think Mr. Vance will be defined by that move, and he will be sullied by it as well. Nonetheless, it's quite interesting that the Hungarian parliament actually did the following. They sang Ode to Joy, which is the anthem of Europe because it is Europe Day tomorrow. So I think it's kind of nice to play what that anthem sounds like. So there we have it, the Ode to Joy. I'm sure many in the US will be looking on in envy, as well as the UK actually, where the results of the elections are still coming out and Labour is getting absolutely trounced. But I think it is important to mention how well the Green Party is doing under Zach Polanski. So in many places, they are absolutely wiping the floor with Labour. And of course, Nigel Farage's reform has done well in pockets of the UK, who I guess prefer a very, very racist, a very, very extreme right-wing party, I would say. So what else is happening? Well, it seems that for the first time since the war started, a Qatari tanker has moved through the Strait of Hormuz, and this is how Bloomberg is reporting it. A Qatari LNG tanker is attempting to cross the Strait of Hormuz for the first time since the start of the war, according to Bloomberg energy analyst Javier Blas. Blas noted the vessel Al-Khairiyat is traveling through newly designated Iranian shipping lanes and is en route to Pakistan. So, three things there: that it's a Qatari LNG tanker. It is accepted to move through a lane that has been created by Iran, which means Iran has given it permission to move, and it is going to Pakistan. So, it seems that Iran has made nice with Qatar. It seems that Iran is fully control of the Strait of Hormuz and has created a designated lane which they control, and obviously this is a nod to Pakistan, allowing an LNG tanker for the first time since the war started to move through the strait and is going to Pakistan, which is a much needed relief for Pakistan. Midas Touch is telling us that Mr. Arakshi is reporting that he has now spoken to foreign ministers in Europe, including the UK, foreign ministers in the GCC, Turkey, India, and many other countries. These are bilateral conversations that Mr. Arakchi is having. So it seems that Iran is very much in touch with the rest of the world, including European foreign ministers. So, and as we know, Mr. Pezeshkian, who is the president of Iran, has had conversations with his counterpart. So instead of Iran being totally isolated, totally shunned, it seems that the world community is actually having these conversations with Iran. Now, Mr. Trump, I think, is hallucinating and delusional, thinking that the Iranians are speaking to him directly, which, as we know, they are not. Meanwhile, Iran has not yet responded to America's version of the proposal. And Ali Weiss, I think, is correct. He thinks they are dragging this out to make Trump sweat over his China visit. Iran knows that Trump is desperate to clear out this conflict before he goes to China, so that this conversation about Iran and the blockade does not dominate his trip to China. And he is taking all sorts of CEOs, etc., to China with him, but the Chinese have made it very clear that they are having a really hard time tolerating the blockade and the situation in the Strait of Hormuz, because Iran exports most of its oil to China, and the US Treasury Secretary thinks it's absolutely appropriate to start sanctioning Chinese refineries and now even more Chinese companies. So China has said they're going to ignore these sanctions, has told its companies to ignore the sanctions. So I'm very puzzled how this trip is going to go off and go off well with all that is still happening on, in the Iran situation, as well as these very aggressive moves against Chinese companies. But I would agree with Ali Weiss that Iran is certainly enjoying watching Donald Trump sweat ahead of his China visit. The head of the World Health Organization is in Spain today, and he has met with Pedro Sanchez. And why is that? It's because the Dutch cruise ship in which the hantavirus outbreak has taken place is about to dock at the Canary Islands. And Spain has permitted the ship to come into the Canary Islands, where it will be handled in a way that doesn't cause danger to the public, and also helps treat those on the vessel who may be showing symptoms. But the idea is to have people disembark and be monitored and taken to health facilities. Now, there are apparently 19 Americans who will be flown to Nebraska to a health facility at the University of Nebraska, and they will be monitored for any signs of symptoms. The good news is that the air hostess on KLM who had gotten sick has recovered. And so that is very, very good news. And I think if she did contract the virus, they were able to handle it quickly. But Pedro Sanchez, in true Pedro Sanchez form, is saying that this is an obligation that he has, and he will follow the obligation, especially because it is a Dutch ship, and also so many of the people on board happen to be European citizens. Meanwhile, Trump, who is busy creating a golden ballroom, lauding a gold statue of himself, which evangelical leaders are surrounding and praying at. Yes, a golden statue near Mar-a-Lago. He's also busy painting the reflecting pool. He's busy talking about granite in the rose garden, and so on and so forth. When asked about the hantavirus, he said exactly what he did during the first days of the COVID outbreak, which was nothing to see here, no problem, it's just going to disappear. Well, luckily, the world is much more alert to a possible emergency, and they are treating this as such. So at least we know that the rest of the world does not intend to be caught flat-footed. And we're lucky that we have leaders like Pedro Sanchez, who certainly is not planning to be caught flat-footed. So there we have it. That's what's going on so far. And we'll keep a watch out for Iran's response, if they do respond today. The other thing we are going to be monitoring is there's some news that the two humanitarian activists who were kidnapped off the coast of Greece and detained in Israel are to be released today. So let us see if that actually happens. Perhaps Lula da Silva, the president of Brazil, was able to prevail and asked Trump to have them released, but we don't know. Tiago Avila's wife has said that he does not know that his mother has passed away. So I don't know if he knows now, because they were supposed to be transferred to immigration authorities in Israel prior to their release. So we'll keep an eye on that and just pray that they will be released and that no more harm will come to them.